Yo, what's up, guys? What's up, YouTube? Car palaver, not the finish. Car troubles, not the finish. One thing I notice about vehicles is that so long you drive these cars, they keep coming up with, issues upon issues. And here on the Car Palaver Fix channel, we are dedicated in sharing our experience with car troubles and how we manage to overcome them. We just pray that Car Palaver no go drown us, or Car Palaver no go send us go back village. Yeah, so I just need to, share this story and talk about this, car trouble before the story gets cold, because it's approaching almost 3 weeks since I embarked on this massive vehicle project. As you all know, I in the past shared the trouble I've been experiencing using the Honda Civic for my ride-sharing business, and I had to face it head on. I had to face it once and for all. So I took the vehicle to a mechanic friend of mine. Who I've known from way back, and I respect him very much because he usually just tell you the truth. And one thing about most of the mechanics we have around here is that most of them just try to beat around the bush, and they don't. I don't know if they are trying to be compassionate, or should I use the word being minimalist or so. Well, they won't tell you the actual thing to do to solve the problem, especially when that actual thing is going to cost you a lot of money. So I don't know why they do that. Most especially the street mechanics. If it's those mechanics in those big complexes and big warehouses, that charge you 10,000 to first of all just diagnose your car, they first of all charge you 10K. They'll probably tell you the truth and what to do to solve the problem once and for all. But most of the mechanics that we have access to based on low budget mechanics, they won't tell you. Maybe that's why they are low budget. They just keep managing and then putting you in more debt. So I think from this video you guys will learn something in terms of facing problems of cars head on, and instead of trying to cut corners with these car problems, which will eventually put you into more problems. So guys, stay tuned. In today's video I'll be sharing why I had to change my engine and how much it cost me to change the engine, which is very, very surprising because I can't believe I could get an engine that cheap. So in this video I'll be reviewing all that, why I changed my engine and how much it cost me to change my engine. So guys, stay tuned and enjoy the video. Please also remember to subscribe here if you are new to the channel. I share car troubles here based from the driver perspective. I'm a ride-share driver, so car of course is my most valuable asset to do my business. So when this my tool, it's a tool for me, comes up with problem, I share it here, with the intent to give you guys the experience. So if you guys have similar problem, at least you can narrow down where the problem is coming from and have your vehicle fixed so you can hit the road again. So let's go without wasting time. Yes, so I took my car to my old-time mechanic, and with the intention to change the head gasket. I had previously changed the head gasket of this vehicle, and it served me for about 3 months without any problem. Then later I noticed that when the sun is out, when it's a very hot day, the vehicle does start overheating. Like if I drive for a very long distance or I'm in traffic, the car starts to overheat. So I was surprised because I changed the gasket not too long ago. So how come it's overheating again? However, the mechanic that changed that gasket told me that in the process of losing the top cylinder, that they noticed that some of the nuts, about 3 of the nuts that holds the top cylinder to the engine block, were worn out. So when they were trying to tighten it, it was turning. So they had to put a zinc, like an aluminium zinc, to give it an extra cushion. So I guess what happened was that from frequent driving, when the car moves, there's a lot of pressure that builds up in the engine, and then you enter a lot of gallops. The shaking and the pressure combined must have displaced that bolt that was that they improvised to make sure that it tightened. So, and once there's a little gap or little clearance between the engine block and the top cylinder, exhaust gases will leak into the cooling system, which of course will cause the car to overheat. So when I took the car to the mechanic in guy's place, actually in Ikorodu, So they were, preparing to change the head gasket, and they were loosening the top cylinder, and they noticed the same bolts were worn out. So that was conclusive that air was passing in, engine exhaust fumes and gases were passing into the cooling system, which was causing the car to overheat. So I was left with two options. I was left with three options. One is either I redrill the hole on the engine block, which is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. It can't be like the factory specified, drilling of the hole in the engine block, and I have to change the bolts, maybe probably use another bolt, bigger bolt, because the hole that will drill will of course be bigger. Or I should change the engine block, the entire engine block, which will come with a new threading, as in of course Tokunbo now. And to get a Tokunbo engine block is kind of difficult, because no Igbo dealer will want to just give you an engine block and then keep the top cylinder. They prefer to just sell it, intact, in whole. So I was left with, if I want to buy an engine block, I should buy a Nigerian used engine block, which there's no guarantee. You don't know how bad the engine was treated when it was being used there in Nigeria. We know how our people here are here now. Our maintenance culture is, how it is, so that option didn't really go down well with me. Then my third option was to just buy a complete engine, just buy a full engine. So we started calling the market to find out how much the engine would be and how much the engine block would be. So we started calling the market, and we discovered that the price for the engine block and that of the engine, the difference was not too much. So I was like, since it's not much, why don't I just buy the engine and then take out my mind off anything that has to do with engine, at least for the next probably 1 to 2 years, depending on how much I want to use this car or how long I intend to use the car. Because this car is an experimental car. I bought this car, to experiment how rugged and how good it will be for this ride-sharing business, for an alternative to the Toyota Corolla, because at that time I couldn't afford the Toyota Corolla. Toyota Corolla in the market was calling for over 1.5 million for a Nigerian used, and I had a very low budget, so I had to settle for this vehicle. So I called the markets, made inquiries, and then we got a deal for the half engine of this vehicle to be sold at 90,000 naira. But wait, the good deal is, at the end of the day, I didn't get this engine for 90,000 naira. I got the engine for 60,000 naira, and I'll tell you how I got it for 60,000 naira. So after my own engine was lifted, of course I took cash to buy the engine, 90,000. After it was lifted, I sold mine for 30,000 naira. The person that sold the engine to me, told me that he can buy my own engine for 40. But when I calculated transporting the engine back there, I just had to sell it within the neighborhood there. So I sold it for 30,000 naira. So I am counting that as a discount to the engine I bought. So if you minus 30,000 naira from 90,000 naira, so I actually got the engine for 60,000 naira. If you do the maths, because I still sold the one I'm taking out at that price. So it was cost saving for me. Like I had to go through changing an engine of a car, and I had to pay just 90,000 naira for an engine, which I also got 30,000 naira discount by selling my own engine. So I got an engine for 60,000, and I've been rocking the car since. And I must say, for anything that has to do with engine, so far so good, no problem. Although I had an overheating like 2 weeks ago, that was because one of my fans stopped working, and it was painful that I didn't get the information on my clutter board, because my temperature switch, when they were changing the engine, they broke the switch. So I recently just changed the switch, so it didn't indicate on my dashboard that it was overheating, so the car totally went off. I felt so bad and felt so mad, because I just changed an engine and now the engine is overheating from my own carelessness. So far so good. The engine has been performing optimally. However, there's some modification I need to do, to keep the engine cool this is Nigeria. I think this car wasn't exactly built for this weather. This weather is pretty hot. So there are some little modifications from colleagues that use the same car. They told me some few things to do to make sure that the car engine lasts longer and keeps serving you. So I'm going to do that probably this weekend, because I have some bills to pay this between today and tomorrow. So once I clear it, I'll do those modifications. I'll also share those modifications to you in case you want to buy this car. It's a low budget car for the business. Like if you just, you don't have enough money to buy the Toyotas, you can just buy it and then probably use the car to raise money, enough money to buy a Tokunbo car of your choice. So I have been able to solve the problem by changing my car engine, and that is the cost of buying the half engine of this car. The engine came with the injector, with the plugs, with the coils, and then the engine block and the top cylinder, of course. So that was it. I didn't buy the full engine. Full engine will be with the alternator, with the compressor, with the kickstarter, and every other component attached to the engine. So, but if you want to get engine for the alternative, that's Toyota Corolla of this same year, which is 2003, I priced the engine in the market, and the price was about 350k to 370k. Imagine if I'd had to bring out that money to embark on that project. I would have probably been in debt, more debt, and stranded, confused, in a very big bad state of now. When it comes to do with money, it's not easy. So thank God my engine wasn't that expensive to change, and let's see how long this car will serve me before I get enough money to buy something dope. I mean dope. We need to experience driving good cars in this lifetime, and I know we are going to experience that. So guys, that is it for today's video on Car Palava Fix. So remember to subscribe to the channel. Also hit on that bell notification icon. Turn on bell notification icon so you get notified when I post videos relating to car troubles and car maintenance related videos. So guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned one or two things in today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.